Welcome to Homestretch's 30th anniversary virtual celebration. In ordinary times, we'd be gathering together in a big, lovely room with food and beverages and music and a festive spirit. But these aren't ordinary times. The deadly virus has forced us to remain isolated from each other for safety. But we can still celebrate. Celebrate the fact that over 30 years, Homestretch has equipped over 2,000 homeless families to escape homelessness and poverty and build flourishing new lives for themselves and their kids. Celebrate the fact that over 30 years, Homestretch has developed a reputation for exceptional client outcomes, eclipsing what all others achieve in the field of homeless services. This evening, you'll hear from several people who helped found Homestretch 3 decades ago. One, Delegate Rip Sullivan, is now a member of the Virginia House of Delegates. Sadly, the founding executive director, Nancy Taxon, died earlier this year. Otherwise, she'd be joining us too. But we do have Kieran Sharp, the founder of Homestretch, with us. He'll chat with me about the early days when they decided to help that very first homeless family. And he'll meet 5 Homestretch graduates. Let me introduce the first one to you. Please meet Kin.
My name is Kin. I'm from Burma. I came to America in an arranged marriage to a man I hardly knew. I found myself in a situation where my husband was violent and abused and controlling, and I began to fear for my life. Domestic abuse is not just physical, it is about control. Complete control over one's life, one's thought, and one's families and friends. I was taken away from everything I knew. I had no one to turn to. The way he and his family treated me began to make me feel like I was nothing, like I was a piece of trash to step on and discarded. The longer I stayed there, the more powerless and worthless I felt. I began to feel like I was nothing, that I have no value. I fled when my husband's abuse became so bad that I feared not just for my own life, but for the life of my 2-year-old daughter too. When I became homeless, I realized that how alone I was in this country. But at Homestretch, I found the support that I needed to discover myself. I found the strength that I didn't think I had. My husband had traumatized my daughter. Then he tried to use that against me when he sought custody. My daughter, due to the abuse, she was behind in her learning the basic thing so he wanted to use that at the court to show that I was an unfit mother. But Homestretch stepped in by enrolling her at the Kids-Stretch, their preschool program, where she flourished, and soon she was learning at her age level. Miss Kim Baker, the director of Kids-Stretch, even came to the custody hearing day. That's the day that she was supposed to go on her vacation, with her family was waiting in the car at the parking lot. I won custody. My dream was to become a teacher. I got a job at the Montessori school. Homestretch helped me learn English and get my driver license and pay off my debt, and most of all, regain my confidence. And I started to believe in myself again. I did so well at the Montessori school that they paid for my certifications. I learned from Heather how to manage my money. One thing that I learned in Homestretch that I never want to give my power away to a man again. Everyone who comes into Homestretch is like me, homeless with children, but that is not the end of your story. Homestretch looked beyond the timid, the scared, and broken young woman that I was when they first met me. They saw a woman with potential to become anything she wanted to be, and they were the family I needed to help me accomplish my dreams.
My name is Grace. I was living with my husband and my father-in-law and my daughter, and things were hard at that time, but we were managing. My husband was showing a lot of angry outbursts at that time. One day he came home, he grabbed the baby monitor and threw it across the room and broke it. And that became the turning point for me to say, we're not safe with him. We have to move out and we have to find somewhere safe to be. So we went to my mom at first, but we couldn't stay there for long. So we decided, I decided to talk to my pastor at church, and he referred me to a domestic violence shelter. I was there for 2 months, and then I found Homestretch. So once I got to Homestretch, we got a 1-bedroom apartment. I got a job at a preschool. Homestretch then helped me find the resources I needed to find daycare, and I moved her to a daycare, and I continued to work there up until the pandemic. While at Homestretch, I got a lot of help with direction on finances, on how to manage money, on how to save, on how to have a budget. I took financial classes. I got a certificate from that. I only had my car loan and no other bills or debt, just the monthly things. So I built up my credit score. I built up my savings. And then with my savings, I paid off my car loan. So I had 0 debt. And my credit score went up to 783. When I think of Homestretch, I think of support. I think of guidance. I think of an opportunity to learn and grow as an individual. Being at Homestretch changed my life. It changed my children's life. When I think of Homestretch, I think of 3 things: guidance, support, and an ability to learn and grow. I am very grateful for all the things that I have learned and have been able to do with Homestretch. And I am also working on learning Mandarin and exposing myself to Chinese culture as much as I can. I'm very happy to have found this job I can do from home while watching my children. I am just very grateful that Homestretch has given me the opportunity to be on my own, to be independent, and to be able to provide for my children and for our future. So thank you, Homestretch.
Hello, I'm Patricia Tetro, the current chair of the board of Homestretch. 30 years ago, Nancy Taxon, Kieran Sharp, and some other caring people decided to help a homeless family. Homestretch started by helping one homeless family. The foundation laid by these humble people with giant hearts is what we at Homestretch stand upon today. They knew that giving a person a fish wasn't enough for them to overcome poverty and homelessness. They also knew that teaching a person to fish wasn't enough either. To be able to fish, you need to know not only how, but you need the fishing pole, the bait, the knowledge of where the fishing holes are, people to encourage you when it doesn't go well, and so on. You need to be equipped. The legacy of our founders is that Homestretch strives every day to equip our clients to succeed. So I'd like to introduce Kieran Sharp and Chris Fay, who will tell us a bit about how and why Homestretch was created.
Kieran, it's a delight to be with you today to talk about the early days of Homestretch and how the whole organization came about. Can you describe the early days of Homestretch? What was happening at that time?
At the time, there were organizations who would help the struggling families with small contributions to their utility bills or their rent. But those things could only be a marginal help and only for a short term. There really needed to be an organization that would rent facilities, rent apartments, houses for such families, help them over a much longer term. One of those organizations was the Falls Church Community Service Council. It's actually a more than 50-year-old organization. The Falls Church group cooperated with several nearby groups from Vienna, McLean, and in the southern area, the Annandale area of Fairfax. And in 1990, we applied for a grant from the county, were successful, and engaged Nancy Taxon to help homeless families at that time.
You and Nancy and the other founders of Homestretch started with helping just one family, as I understand, and over time grew to help more families, and then more and more services were added over time.
Well, for the first couple of years, Nancy was working just part-time and out of her basement and garage. But over the course of the next 15 years, she took Homestretch from aiding just a few families so that it became a full-service transitional housing program. And at its peak, it served over 70 families annually with its own office building, dozens of dedicated housing units. And the units were scattered through various sites in Falls Church and in Fairfax. And as you know, that's a much more desirable way to deal with the integration of the families into a community rather than so segregating them into a small area of one portion of the community. Nancy was very successful in developing a supportive network among religious congregations, including Doolin Methodist, which has been fantastically supportive throughout the time. The Falls Church, which provided the first private sector grant that Homestretch ever received. Holy Trinity Lutheran, Temple Rodef Shalom, First Christian, on and on. And then various public agencies were helpful. They all combined their efforts, but Nancy was at the forefront. She was the one who persevered through so many crises, both organizational and with the individual families. And she had such terrific skill in judging what they needed and how to motivate them to get their processes moving in the right direction, often a very, very difficult thing to accomplish. And as she went along, she was able to hire some highly skilled staff, some of them still with Homestretch.
Can you speak for a moment about the importance of children in your planning of Homestretch?
The whole family is involved in the process of moving from homelessness to a better life. The children have their needs for education, for extracurricular activities like sports and music, and unless all of those things tie together, the family is not going to be fully successful over the long term. And it isn't just one generation either that is a part of what we're attempting to accomplish. We're trying to break the cycle of homelessness so that those who are in the generation coming after that head of household will not experience homelessness themselves. That's a very important part of what Homestretch has always been part of its mission.
Kieran, you've been able to observe, even for the last 30 years, the work of Homestretch, and you've seen that we've been able to establish a record of client success, which is unprecedented. What do you think is the secret?
The many successes that I think Homestretch has had have been a lot due to strong leadership, and especially in the last couple of years where some of the public types of granting have gone in a different direction, not going along with the kind of model that Homestretch has typically pursued. And yet Homestretch persisted with that model, recognizing its ability to have such success and convincing enough people in the private sector that it's been able to sustain its practices, its successful practices throughout the last several years, and with a 95% or more of its budget coming from the private sector. The vast majority of our clients, over 90%, do graduate, do have success after they graduate for several years that we've been able to track them. And I think that is an outstanding record of success, especially when other programs are lucky to achieve a 50% level of success in that way.
Now, Kieran, there's something I'd like to say that you don't know that I'm about to say, which is that you are actually quite a hero to everybody at Homestretch. We look up to you, and we look at the legacy of Homestretch as if we're carrying on the work of Kieran Sharp. So we want you to know how much you mean to all of the staff and all the supporters of Homestretch. So we're proud of you and proud of the fact that you created this amazing organization, and it is an honor and a privilege for us to carry on that work.
I know when we began, we expected maybe to serve 10 families and to raise from the private sector maybe $100,000 if we were fortunate over the next few years to aid homeless families. Well, surprise, very pleasant surprise. Everyone came to our assistance, and we've been extremely successful over the 30-year period. We've had bipartisan support. That kind of broad-based support is just it's very uncommon. There are other organizations around the country that could benefit from the model that we've been able to develop at Homestretch.
You know, in the course of my career, I have been on probably dozens of various boards and commissions. But I look back on my time on the Homestretch board with particular joy and pride. I was on the board shortly after the organization began and remember board meetings in Nancy Taxon's basement. And every family that graduates from Homestretch, every family that avoids homelessness going forward is a testament to the commitment and the hard work of Nancy Taxon and the other founders of this organization. And I just could not be more proud to have been a part of that in the early stages of Homestretch. Speaking of a testament, earlier this year I was proud to present to the General Assembly a resolution honoring Homestretch's 30th anniversary. It's House Joint Resolution 374, and I want to take a moment here to read it to you. These are the words of the Virginia General Assembly. Whereas Homestretch empowers homeless families in Northern Virginia to secure permanent housing and to attain the knowledge, skills, and hope they need to achieve lasting economic self-sufficiency. And whereas Homestretch has contributed substantially to efforts by Fairfax County and the City of Falls Church to end homelessness by providing housing and comprehensive services to more than 1,000 homeless families with more than 3,000 children since its founding in 1990. And whereas Homestretch equips families to escape homelessness and poverty permanently through programs that help the family members acquire skills and education, reduce debt and repair credit, enter lucrative career paths, and restore their health. And whereas Homestretch facilitates the economic empowerment of homeless parents with children in Northern Virginia and launches them into careers such as nurses, chefs, teachers, accountants, real estate agents, dental assistants, pastors, commercial drivers, social workers, business analysts, pharmacy technicians, master plumbers, restaurateurs, and auto mechanics. And whereas Homestretch provides high-quality early education for homeless and low-income children through its licensed preschool KidStretch, and ensures the educational success of youths in the program through its dedicated collaboration with the Fairfax County and Falls Church City Schools. And whereas Homestretch has achieved unparalleled success in assisting homeless families secure and maintain long-term employment and permanent housing, with 90% of families completing the program by moving into permanent housing that they can afford and 95% of its graduates never returning to homelessness. And whereas Homestretch has fulfilled its mission through the hard work of hundreds of volunteers and the generosity of more than 1,400 donors each year. And whereas Homestretch demonstrates that dramatic transformation of lives is possible, given the right structure, support, and opportunity. Now therefore be it resolved by the House of Delegates, the Senate concurring, that the General Assembly hereby commend and congratulate Homestretch on the occasion of its 30th anniversary, and that the General Assembly express its admiration and gratitude for the important work of Homestretch, benefiting the lives of homeless families and helping to strengthen the future of our community. And resolve further that the Clerk of the House of Delegates prepare a copy of this resolution for presentation to Homestretch as an expression of the General Assembly's admiration for its life-changing contributions to communities in the City of Falls Church and Fairfax County. It was a great honor to present this resolution to the General Assembly. It's a great honor to present it to Chris Fay and the Homestretch organization this evening on the occasion of its 30th anniversary. Thank you, Homestretch. Thank you for all you do to make our communities stronger.
My name is Salmata. I became homeless due to domestic abuse. Having nowhere to go and no family to support me, I was forced to resort into a shelter. After spending 3 months in the shelter, I was referred to Homestretch. I was very hesitant to go to Homestretch because I had no idea what kind of support I would be getting there. In Homestretch, things started to change. Even though I was very sad and I was very anxious about being into a transitional housing, I had so much support and so many people who wanted to see me succeed. At first, I was introduced to the employment counselor. Since I had a job at the time, she asked me what I wanted to do, where I wanted to see myself in the next 3 years. And I told her that I wanted to go to school, and she helped me out to enroll into classes. But I was very lost, and I had no idea what I wanted to do career-wise. And she helped me through one of those personality tests to detect like where I would excel. And what came up was a lot of programs in IT, and having no background in IT, I was very skeptical. But she actually encouraged me that I can do it. And up to this day, even though like I'm actually 3 classes away from graduating, I still didn't think I could do it because I had no idea what I was doing at first. Also, since I was taking classes at night, I had no like means of paying for that. But with Homestretch on my side, they actually provided a discounted childcare for me. And when I was in Homestretch, I had no credit, but after meeting with Miss Heather, she's actually helped me set up a secured credit card, and also helped me know like money management skills and how to be good with finances, because I had no idea. I know that with the career that I choose, there is a prospect of job opportunities.
I'm Don Byer, and I have the great honor of representing Falls Church, Fairfax, Arlington, Alexandria, and Northern Virginia in the U.S. Congress. I just want to wish Homestretch a very welcome, happy, celebratory 30th anniversary. Since 1990, you've helped over 2,000 families with their homelessness issues, and you've done your damnedest to get to the root causes of homelessness, which is affordable housing. But through Kid Stretch and Teen Stretch and many other programs, you've tried to get families, and have successfully gotten families back on their feet. I'm very proud to have visited Homestretch and learned much of what you do. And I think back at how few businesses last 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. But to last 30 years is a remarkable testament to your courage, your steadfastness, your incredible work ethic. and your great empathy for the human condition. Thank you, Homestretch, for all that you do. I look forward to celebrating your 40th, 50th, and maybe even 60th anniversaries.
Hi, my name is Megdes. I'm from Ethiopia. I married my husband in 2015 and I had my daughter Eliana in 2016, and we moved here following my husband end of 2017. So my husband lied to me about many things. He told me that he worked in American University, but he was a taxi driver. The person that I married and loved was not the person that was here. That was so different. He became very jealous, controlling, obsessive person. So I did not have any job, I did not have any friends, I didn't have any money. So basically we suffered with my daughter. I honestly suffered to feed my daughter. She was like 13 months when we moved here, and on top of that he became very physically violent. So I had to call the police and escape from violence and toxic relationship that I had with him. So the policewoman that came to the house to take us, she was such a nice person. She gave me money from her own pocket. When I told her I don't have any money to feed my daughter, she gave me money so I can buy milk. She got me diapers. After that, I met Bethany House. Bethany House is a shelter that is here in Virginia. So after I moved in with Bethany House, they referred me to Homestretch. So after Homestretch, that's where my life completely changed. I don't even know how to start. My daughter and I had nothing when we moved here. When I first met my social worker and she showed me the house that we are living here currently, I was so amazed. Like, it has everything, starting from the little things, from the spoon to the bed, everything, all was furnished. And I was like, we were so happy. Eliana was so excited. She got her toys, her book, her bed, everything was amazing. My daughter suffered so much from that broken house and from that toxic relationship. She would cry, she would make a noise, but she wouldn't talk and speak and stuff like that. So I was so scared and concerned. But after I enrolled her at Kidstretch, the teachers at Kidstretch, they're the best. I was so amazed. Like, she could come home and she could actually talk to me and communicate with me. Like, I can actually know what she wants. So I was so happy. She right now is so active, so happy, so loving. I met Miss Senali. She was such a nice person. She helped me through everything. So she helped me get a job, my first job in the States. That was in Harris Theaters. I was a cashier at Harris Theaters, and I studied to be a paralegal, and I got my certificate as a paralegal. It was a very nice experience thanks to her. And she helped me get my license. She helped me get my first bank account here, and she helped me get my car. I have a car. It's amazing. I didn't even know how to use the bus when I first came to Homestretch. So Homestretch is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you could actually do whatever you want to do with the help of Homestretch stuff. There's a saying in my country, like, someone can actually loan you a horse, but no one will ever win the race for you. You have to do it yourself. Homestretch won't change your life, but you are the one who changed your life. But they can help you through everything, like everything. You have to open your heart, open your mind, and be strong about it. But they will always be there for you.
What is the mission? of Homestretch. On paper, it reads, "The mission of Homestretch is to empower homeless families to secure permanent housing and attain the skills, knowledge, and hope to become productive participants in the community." Homestretch is an agent of change. Change is our business. Whatever suffering or crisis brings a family to our doors, poverty, domestic abuse, some other kind of violence, our job is to provide that family with the opportunity to steer their crisis in a way that leads them to transformative change. We seize that crisis and say to them, let's stage a plan to change the course of your life. We assemble a vast array of services meant to address all the problems a family may face, and we help them set and achieve some pretty ambitious goals. In 30 years, we've helped nearly 2,000 families move from homelessness to economic self-sufficiency. Every family story is unique to them, but every one of them is a story of dramatic change in our care. Once I realized that my life's work was going to be helping the homeless, I made a decision. I decided that I had to focus on what genuinely helped the homeless individual to change the course of their life. It couldn't be about what made me feel generous or useful or benevolent. I needed to focus on what actually helped that homeless person escape homelessness permanently. And I knew that I had to be able to measure my effectiveness with ruthless honesty. I wanted to know that my effort led to actual transformative change, measurable, lasting change, however hard that might be. Coming to Homestretch to take over the reins from the founder, Nancy Taxson, gave me that opportunity. It was 14 years ago. In the 30 years of Homestretch's life, we've only had 2 directors, which is unusual for a nonprofit. When Nancy and her co-founder, Kieran Sharp, started Homestretch, they operated on certain beliefs that we still maintain today. First, they believed that for a homeless family to escape homelessness, the family would need time and a lot of help. They believed that to help a family, you must give equal focus to both parents and children. Nancy and Kieran believed that no matter how broken or damaged or how lost a family might feel, they were worthy of our time and our love, and that they were capable of recovering from whatever happened to them to rebuild their lives in dramatic ways. This belief is still the core of what we do and who we are. And I believe that this is why we also have among the highest rates of success of any program serving the homeless in the nation, with 90% of our graduates never returning to homelessness. That's the good news. We know that our model is extraordinarily effective. America today is at a perilous stage. A quarter of all renters in America are behind in their rent. The reality is that COVID-19 has been most damaging on the poor, people of color, people without resources. And without massive federal help, there could be a flood of new homeless families coming into our midst in the coming year. We want to be poised to help. We know our model works. Our prayer is that we can take in as many homeless families as possible to save as many lives as we can. Now, it costs us on average $25,000 a year to serve and house a homeless family. We could serve 50 families at a time now. With your help, we could serve 100 just as well. Now, that might be a lofty goal, but no more lofty than a family going from homelessness to home ownership in just a few years. And we've seen that happen for some of our clients at Homestretch. We'll hear next from Amal, another Homestretch graduate. And then one of our board members will tell you how you can help.
Hello, I came from Morocco to join my husband here in America together with our son Youssef. but almost immediately it was apparent that things were going badly. My husband cheated on me and he became verbally abusive. He threatened to throw me together with our son out onto the streets. It just got worse and worse until I realized that I had to leave for our own safety. We spent 9 months in a shelter. I was very depressive. I felt lonely. I did not speak English. I had no family or no one to count on. I didn't even know how to take a bus. Finally, I was referred to Homestretch and everything changed. Homestretch discovered that I had taken college courses in pharmacy school in Spain and asked me if I would like to pursue becoming a pharmacist here. So I said yes, even though I didn't know how hard it would be or how long it would take. I felt scared, sad, and broken, but Homestretch saw me as someone capable of becoming a future pharmacist. Homestretch believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself, and all along the way they helped me with scholarships. They paid for my classes. They bought me books. One of them cost over $900. So Nelly, the job counselor, helped me get my transcript transferred and evaluated and translated from Spain, and they paid for all my exams. Homestretch also helped me with the right path for my son. When Homestretch opened Kids Stretch, their preschool program, they enrolled Yusuf, and Yusuf just flourished in that program. At that time, Yusuf was diagnosed with a mild case of autism, so they gave him the care he needed. Knowing that my son is happy and in good hands let me relax and focus on all that I had to accomplish. So many ways that they had helped me with. They provided me with a therapist to help me cope with all the violence and the abuse I had gone through. They helped pay for all my car repairs. I even got my own ESOL tutor. If not for Homestretch, I doubt I'd be where I am today. Homestretch was my family when I had no family. All what I learned about succeeding in life, I learned it from Homestretch.
Hello, I'm LaSharon Howell, and I am one of the members of the Homestretch Board of Directors. I'm really lucky to actually serve on this board because, as you may not know, I'm actually a graduate, and I used to be in this program not too long ago with my 2 children. But the best things about being a Homestretch Board of Director is that I get to witness all of the things that not only they have done for me, but other people since I've graduated, and hearing stories from those that have gone on before me. It's been really great, and it's such a wonderful and amazing privilege and an honor to serve those who, like myself, found themselves somewhere without the hope that Homestretch provided for them. We're living in a very trying time, as we all know, and it is especially hard for our Homestretch families in this trying time because they have been derailed from their progress. Lost jobs, lack of child care, scarcity in supplies and rent, the uncertainty of health and health care. Those things are very important and are the pinnacle of what Homestretch does to help these families get to where they need to be and to make sure they can continue their progress. And because of the times that we are in, all of those things have been halted. Today we need a lot of support, probably more support than ever. And I can understand how it's hard for all of us, even when we are going through different times, to be able to help others. But this is the time where we have to stand up and be able to help those in our community. This is when it matters the most. I'm asking, if you can, to donate and maybe donate $1,000. If you can start with $1,000, imagine what you could do for our families. $1,000 could help one family with their monthly expenses. $1,000 can break down to as little as $2.78 a day. And when you think about that, it's really not that much. But I understand that not everyone can give at that level. And we do have various levels of giving available and various methods of giving as well. I would like for you to just think about it in your heart and kind of do the math and work it out and see how you can help Homestretch financially, because that is really what we need right now. There is no gift too small, and Homestretch really appreciates any gift of any size. We understand the impact that giving to others may have on you, but the impact that it will have on those you give to are tremendous. And also with every gift, we have some generous donors who will match that gift up to $20,000. So whatever you give could be tripled in size. Thank you again for making a direct investment into the Homestretch Network. And I can assure you that no matter what you give, it will be a tremendous, tremendous gift to all of those who receive it. Another one of the reasons why I am proud to be a member of the board with Homestretch is to be able to be a part of the 30-year legacy and beyond of helping these families in this community. You and everyone out there hearing me play such an important role in continuing that legacy with Homestretch. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, if I had $1 million to give, I sure would give it without blinking an eye. Today, we're just asking you to find something in your heart that's going to make you decide to give Homestretch the help that they need to preserve and to continue this legacy of hope for all of the families that have come through and will continue to come through until no child and family is homeless ever again. Thank you.